On today's episode of Behind the Coil, we play Spot the Difference. So what we've got here is I redid my NBA Fastbreak. This is the Translite out of it, and it had some issues. Let me show you. It's been melted through on that, so it's pretty bad on the back. I've already cleaned up some of the other stuff, but I was looking around and I found this one on Pinside. Pictures were great. Everything looked fantastic. Close-up pictures. Well, what arrived definitely is not what was pictured. And the bad part about the way this one is you're not really going to be able to tell. You can kind of get on the sheen some of those scratches, which is whatever, right? My original doesn't have all that stuff. But the other side, in all the pictures, none of this was there. So, but it's still not terrible, right? It's not bad. We can probably clean on this stuff. So what we're going to do today, we're actually going to clean both of them, because why not? Why clean one and not the other? Even though this one does have this damage, it's still going to be a good Translight. We got a whole little hole here from the art. So what we've got a little bit of water in this container. We got our melamine foam, magic eraser, and microfiber cloth. Now, I've put down a yoga mat that I cut. Basically, I just take a yoga mat, cut it to size, and use it as a dust cover. So I'm using this yoga mat to kind of cushion, because we're going to be rubbing on this pretty good. And I really don't want this to move and scratch up the other side more, because we're just going to work on these ball trails from the basketball, wannabe basketball, and some of this stuff. So we're going to get both of them up looking really good, and then decide which one we want to put in the machine. And I don't know, maybe the other one joins the wall of extras. Yeah, there's more. Maybe we'll go over that one day. So strap in. It's probably going to be a lot of squeaky. Melamine's just going to squeak some with water. So we may lay down some tracks or off. I don't know. I've been trying to find some good audio to put kind of underneath the videos. We've got our setup ready. You can kind of see here, we're going to focus on things like this. This is kind of where that ball travels. And then up here, where you get the most speed from that ball. You can kind of, you can see a little bit. So let's start with up here. And basically, I'm just dipping this melamine sponge in the water container that I showed you earlier. And it's not, you can see it's not overly wet. I can make it show some of the wet. So it's not saturated. It's not, soaking wet. I'm trying to make it to where we don't squeak too much. But I wanted to use a new foam pad as well, so that we can just kind of get an idea. Now, this particular Translight doesn't seem to mind this melamine foam at all on any of the art. And what I found is you can really go to town. And that's why I wanted to lay this pad down, because I'm holding it with this to keep it steady, because I don't want this to shift and scratch the other side too. And I use this to just kind of wipe to see my progress. Let's try a little bit more water. You can kind of tell when I dip it in the water, and then I just kind of push that, make it go in a little bit further. But there's going to be a lot more water there. It'll actually come out now. We won't do the entirety of both with this squeaky. I'll do a little time lapse or something. But this way you can kind of see that one area. I'm just taking it slow. Once you start getting the feel for it, then you can just go at it. You're not going to get this clear part back to a pristine sheen. It's just not going to happen. We can get a lot of that cleared out. What we're going to do before we go any further, I'm going to lightly clean this other side, not with the melamine, just a regular cleaner. That way we know any particles and stuff here. We're not trying to clean something that might be on the other side. So for this, it's just whatever plastic safe surface cleaner that you use. Google it, look it up. All we're doing is just getting any kind of surface stuff off this other side. That way we know what we're looking at is what we're trying to get off. That's just like an initial pass over it, and you're basically just going to have to go until you decide that's good enough. Let me pull over the one that I pulled out, and what we'll look at, so I've already worked on this some. Okay, so we're going to kind of go after this area here. So if I put in front of that orange, you can see how that dirty line's right there, and also this hand. There it is. You can kind of see by that hand. So you can see we got quite a bit of it. We just got to get a little bit more there. The hand is just about gone. You can see a little bit there. So all that by the hand is now gone. Still got that. That's pretty, I can feel that with my fingernail. So little areas like that, we'll just work it out. Yeah, I wasn't happy whenever this showed up based on the pictures that were sent to me. It's kind of what you deal with sometimes. Now that we've got what Translite we're going to use, let's get this thing put back together so we can put a game on it. It's always fun working with these because the flipper mechanism under here and the fact that it's like a shadow box always gives you a fun time. We'll call it that. Before we button it up, let's take a closer look. None of this plastic is new. I've just re-cleaned everything. Take everything out, all the lights, cleaned everything through ultrasonic. I had it put back together, but the plastic part here, I guess when that ball was coming over, it was hitting it, and it kind of knocked the
standoffs out. So I picked up some new standoffs now that it's not like the originals just being used in there. Hopefully that will last a lot longer. Okay, the ball wants to sit over there for now. That's fine. It is leaning that way anyway. Now I've cleaned the glass with some Windex, so make sure if you do that, that the glass is completely dry before you put it onto this Translite. I'm just going to put it on. And you don't want to just let go because this whole thing is leaning, so it'll try to just run off on you. I'm trying to maneuver it without pushing that Translite. I'll take one of my side pieces. The long goes on the top because you want it to reach over and cover. Just want to make sure you're catching the underneath lip of that. So I like to start from the bottom and then roll it up. And I'm still holding this other side because it still wants to walk on me. And don't worry so much about this side of the glass getting fingerprints. We're going to clean that still. And here you can maneuver your spacing so everything looks even. Now this, just going to make sure that you're going to be catching. You want this to be able to be pulled on to get this out of the machine. So that way you're putting the glass in this section. There we go. And of course, make sure the ball's in there. If the ball's not in there, you're not going to have anything to shoot. So let's get this into the machine. It's always fun working with Valley back boxes that are shadow boxes, like I like to refer to them as, because you've got to hook them up. So you got to hold it and be able to hook up this cable here. And you could do it this way, as long as you've got enough space or length. And most of the time you're going to have that because not many people have went and modified any of this stuff. If you put it in the right way, it'll work. Nice, good connection. And then install it like any other back box Translight. Alright, so this machine has a Pen 2 DMD color display. I've got a video on building displays. I've actually got some more on order, so we'll probably be making some more videos about those. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. Look at this thing turned on. There we go. Let's get our bent plastic installed. Now I'm learning that this cheap mic setup that I have is not real great for any other audio or even my voice audio. We'll still put a game on it. It'll give you a good idea of how that back box is going to work. You've noticed that it's kind of a warm tone. I used Comet Sunlight to try and give it that old school gymnasium vibe. I think it came out pretty well. So let's check this one out.
Get ready for some prime-time basketball. Who's your favorite team?
And this is the 90s, so there's going to be, like the Vancouver Grizzlies isn't even a team anymore, the Memphis Grizzlies. Just kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff you can see with that color display. There's Orlando Magic, it's only 53 points. Let's see if we can get that.
The Orlando Magic against the Los Angeles Lakers. It's showtime. We call for multi-ball.
It launched the ball. for 3. Now, if you hit those pop bumpers enough, it'll say shoot the free throw, and you got to hit the shoot button real quick. That's ball 1. I like how the display WCS is the initials that I use on pinball machines. It's actually like in the advertisement area. I think that's pretty cool. Boy, that thing's launching. Always fighting storage. Ran out of storage on my phone that I'm shooting this video with, so we missed ball 2. Let's see if we can get a good ball 3, round this video out. I'm noticing that my launch is coming out really spicy.
From outside.
I need to try and get a mode to show off the back box. And that's not going to happen. But at least we saw some of the foul shot.
You're going home a winner.
We're going to win?
Oh, 2 man, no match. And ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here.
And with that, so are we. Join us again here on Back to the Coil as we put new life into old things.